Hello, my name's John. This is a Space Marine Primaris captain, and you're watching Wargames, Models and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to start another project using bits from my bits box. This is going to be a Primaris Deathwatch Watchmaster. I'm using this Primaris Captain as a base for the model. There's a few bits on this I want to change, and there's a few bits that I want to add to the model as a whole. So to start with, I'm just going to start trimming out the bits I want to keep and then seeing how I need to change them to fit this project. So I've been working on quite a few I've been working on quite a few bits box projects recently, mainly Space Marine ones, as I have lots of Space Marine parts. You'll have seen various videos on the channel, and I thought it was about time I did something from one of my favourite factions, which is the Deathwatch. If you're not familiar with the Deathwatch, they are a group of Space Marines from all sorts of different chapters who fight the Xenos threat throughout the galaxy. And this particular one is a Watchmaster that I want to make. So we'll see exactly how I go in this video. I'm thinking of this as probably a two-part video. This first part is just making the main body and putting bits together. So the first thing that I want to do, I'll sort these legs out and put them together. They're the one bit that probably need the least amount of work on them, as there's not much I want to change on them. Okay. But yeah, over the last month or so, I've been working on a lot of projects where I'm either using up bits for my bits box, trying to complete projects that I haven't completed in some time. At the moment, it's a lot of building, and I'm hoping that soon it'll go to a lot of painting, as I'm going to have lots of models about the place that do need painting. So the reason why I've chosen a Watchmaster for this project, with the Imperial Agents Codex, you can include a Watchmaster as an ally, and for some of the armies that I've been working on, kind of works out quite nicely having this character for a little bit of narrative within the army. Now, what I want to do with the model today is get the bulk of it together, work out what I need to change and edit, and then in the second video I'll add details and things like that, just to make it look more Watchmaster. They have a very specific weapon, which I have some parts that I can convert it from. What I want to quickly see, I do have this base from the Apothecary from the Leviathan box set. And immediately can't fit that in the hole. There we go. There we go. So I just want to see what that looks like on there. Helps if I do it on camera so you can see it. Yeah, quite like that. Might consider that. But anyway, let's get back to this model. So, getting to the parts now that I want to edit. Let's just put the legs to aside. Right, so first things first. On the front of the torso, I have here a scabbard and a pistol holster. Now, this character doesn't have a sword or a pistol, and I do want to get rid of those. So what I'm probably going to do is trim off all of the detail from the front. I'll leave the top of the purity seal there, but I'm going to trim everything else off, and I'm going to cover it up later with some other details. So let's have a look at the best way of getting this holster off. Right, I'm going to trim it there. And then the sword, the scabbard, I'm going to trim there. Snap that off. There we go. Let's tidy this up. So I've realised, whilst trying to sort out a lot of my projects, I do have a lot of models that I'm either never going to use, or the parts aren't something that I'm kind of interested in. So I've decided to try and either use up as many models as I can with project ideas before I start buying new things, and also try and complete some old projects. So there is going to be quite a large gap on this one once I've done this, but I don't mind because I've got a few ideas to fix that. So I want to keep the right arm, but the left arm I do want to change it. So looking at it, it's going to be another trim. Got to be careful that I don't ruin around the head here. So let's just go at this with my snips. There we go. Let's tidy that up. So apologies if I don't talk as much while I'm concentrating on this, but hopefully you'll see exactly my plan as I start working it through. Okay. Okay, that works quite nicely. Right, let's glue this bit together so we can have a look at what we've got to work with. Sorry, I went off screen then. So I'm not sure what chapter I want this Watchmaster to be in yet, but luckily that's only going to involve that shoulder pad, so I can leave it for quite a while until I decide. Okay. I think out of a lot of the hobby now, one of my favourite things to do is conversions and come up with various projects to work with. Okay, so as you can see, we do have quite a big hole here, which I will adjust. I have an idea for that. To start with, now I've got to this point, I just want to see if my idea for the left arm will work. And this arm is from the Infiltrator kit. And what I want is them to be holding this up as if they're looking at telemetry or details and things like that, then obviously I'll have the Deathwatch shoulder pad in place there. And already just looking at that, that's going to fit quite nicely. And that will go over top of the arm there. Okay. So, before I stick that on, let's have a look at now the issue of putting something there. So, I have got the cape from the old Deathwing kit. And I was thinking of using this as a basis for a new loincloth. So obviously that's the old one being trimmed off because I didn't want that scabbard in place. So what I'm thinking, looking at that, if I just hold it close to camera, I'm going to trim down that section just there. Or do I go for that one? So the cape is kind of blowing quite a lot in this direction, so I kind of want that to either match or go for this side to come down. Right, I'm going to cut it down here, that seam there, and then I'm either going to use this piece or this piece. So let's start by just carefully scoring this. And I have to say, my idea with this one is to see if I can get away with not using any green stuff at all for this conversion. So fill any gaps with plastic, cover them over, all that sort of thing. There we go. Okay, so now I have two pieces. What was I saying? Yeah, I want to try and get away with not using any green stuff and sculpting in this one. It's going in the other direction, but that could... No, let's go for this. Okay, let's tidy this up. So I'm trying to talk and think at the same time, and can I convert stuff? So now I don't know if I've been on camera. Apologies, I'm not looking up at the camera. I need to pay attention a bit more when doing these. I would like to video a lot more of my hobby, but unfortunately that annoying thing of work gets in the way. Ooh, safety squint on that one. How far down did the other one go? So it goes just higher than the foot in the rock. This is a little bit too long at the moment. So I'm going to start trimming some bits away. Going to have to trim the back away as well. So let's flatten off some of the back. This is working better than I thought it would. So let's trim that up a little bit more. Yeah, so recently I've been doing a lot of Grey Knight conversions from the bits box, kit bashing them from all sorts of different things, and I thought it was about time to do something with one of the other inquisitorial Space Marine factions. Okay, what I'm going to do, let's trim this up, because because I can always put a new little bit of plastic on the bottom of the purity seal. Probably add a few more purity seals. I do like a purity seal here and there. Okay, so that side's working. I think I need to trim off this side a little bit. So let's just rake it with a knife and shave it down. Same time as doing that, I'm going to get rid of the little wing emblem from the back in case it's seen, because it looks slightly out of place. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to glue that in place there, I think, before I start putting any other items over the top of it. Okay. I'm going to just trim that bit away. That's going to glue in nicely there. Okay, let's get ready to glue this in place. I haven't got any thicker plastic glue at the moment, so I'm going to stick with the thin stuff. But I'm going to put it both on the body and this new loincloth. Oops. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is run some glue down the seams. Okay. Yep, I'm happy with that for now. Okay, so while that's drying a little bit, I'm going to quickly talk about the spear that this guy has. So this is from a Custody spear, but what I want is the top of it, and then I'm probably going to edit this Deathwing weapon as the rest of it. So I've got to do some editing on that. That's probably going to be the next video, editing this and adding the details. Like I said, I want to try and get the main body of this done today. So that's going to include, I think, how's that going to look with that on the left arm? He's kind of leaning back a little bit. Now I think I'm going to use, yeah, I'm going to use this base, not necessarily right now. Right, let me quickly go on to head ideas. So, from the Deathwing sprue as well, looking at a hooded head. Well, that one sits quite nicely in there. I might change the position of this arm, to be honest. Because rather than it sitting like this, oh actually that could come down to there. Does that look like a natural pose though? Right, I'm going to tack this arm on with a little bit of glue so I can have it on there as an idea, and I can always take it off at a later date if I don't like it. So I'm going for not much plastic glue. And the reason why I'm using plastic glue rather than super glue is I really don't like super glue. And also the plastic glue melts the plastic and disperses, whereas the super glue just stays there. I'm just having a few ideas with this. Okay. Let's tack this in place as well. I've got an idea appearing in my head where this pose is actually going to work. I do think it looks a bit odd that... Whoops. Okay. Because I do have as well, I think this is from Manius Calgar. I do have that servo skull that I might put facing slightly further forward on the base, so it looks like it's scanning, and this character can be looking at their little arm mounted Auspex computer, whatever it is. Also, it hides some of the detail down there, which is quite nice. Right, where's that head, and see how that fits in. I keep moving that arm. Let's hold that in place. I probably should have tacked it on with a little bit more glue, but never mind. Okay. Right, let's put a little bit of glue down in the next socket. And then let's drop this head into there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yep, that works. Well, I say that now. By the next video it might have changed completely. Who knows? Okay, so what I'm thinking... Ooh. I've just placed it on that base, and as a happy accident, that kind of sits in the position that I want it to. So just carefully move that to one side while I get this servo skull off here. Now this character themselves, I want them to go with my new Space Marine chapter that I've been working on, the Knights Topaz, who were almost completely wiped out by the Necrons. I will do some painting videos on them soon. But yeah, they were wiped out by the Necrons, and I like the idea that in their reduced size as a force now, they... Yeah, that works. Sorry, they have an advisor from the Deathwatch who is kind of gaining intel and information about the Necrons and also passing it on to them. You know what I quite like? I'm just going to stick this down onto here. Okay. I'm going to tack that in place. I say tack it. I'll probably put too much glue on it, and if I need to take it off again, I'll have to rip it off or cut it off. But chances are I won't remember exactly. Whoop. Okay, let's hold that in place for a second. And then yeah, this is going to go in somewhere there. I might, let's not glue that on for now. Right, that I am happy with this arm, so I'm going to put a little bit more glue on it, so it's no longer a tacked on piece, it's going to be a more permanent piece. Okay. I might mix up a little bit of glue paste to fill some gaps of that when it's done, but for now let's just put a bit of glue under there. Hold that in place. So one thing I noticed that I haven't put in is that top section of the ropes, the cordage that ties the cape in place, but I'll probably use something else for that. Okay, so I need to let that dry now before I move on. So yeah, I've got the servo skull ready to go. Got to think about some details to go around the waist belt to hide any of the gaps, and then I've got to sort out and convert the spear. So for now I'm going to call this video, and I'll put some videos of what it's looking like so far at the end of the video. But for now, thank you so much for tuning in. My name's John, and you've been watching War Games, Models and Other Hobbies.